Oh man, live in action, boy. Okay, welcome to the Blue Garden. Hey, I'm live. I don't know if anybody's watching, so if you're out there, let me know. And don't know. It's first time doing this on the Blue Garden here. All right, let me turn on my other camera. If you're out there, let me know. I don't know how to do this thing. Let me see here. Uh, let's try this button. Highlight, save to your channel. No. Uh, how about this magic stick here? Retouch. Nope. That's it. I don't know what else to do. I don't see anybody on here. Oh, there we go. All messages. All right, so we're live. Let me turn on my other camera. I don't know what's going to happen. Okay, hit record. All right. Hey, welcome to the Blue Garden. This is the first live streaming from the Blue Garden. My name is Jay. I'm your host. And today I want to talk about blueberries and soil, the microorganisms. And it's like, it is 10:33. I said that was going to start around 10:30. And it looks pretty good so far. So, I guess wanted to talk, who am I? How did I learn all about this blueberry here? And I don't know, you can see the one down there, but you can see here, it all started with the pot I have over there. And started that when I was still working. Now, by trade, I am a journeyman machinist. And I got my degree in Los Angeles, California, in LA Trade Tech. And I got it in administration, manufacturing, and manufacturing application. So what does that mean? That means I know how to run all the machines, and I know how to run the front office, the business. And I graduated in 1984, and I did that. And so I started my own company, manufacturing, and I ran that for about 30 years, 3 decades. And some of my clients were, the department, the DOD, the Department of Defense, and I had the Coast Guard, the Army, and the Navy. And no, I'm sorry, not the Navy. It was the Air Force. Sorry, it was the Air Force, Coast Guard, and the Army. Okay. And for aerospace, I did work for McDonnell Douglas, Boeing, Raytheon, and Northrop. And for I did medical, Parker Medical, Z Medical, and automotive. I did work for Toyota, Peterbilt. That's the trucking freightliner. And I worked with Fortune 500 companies like C.R. Lawrence. And well, that's my manufacturing. So the reason I'm telling you this is because the mindset of engineering, how to think of a problem and the solution to it. So when I was working, I really didn't have time to do much. And then, I heard this article or something about blueberries, how beneficial they are to your health. They're antioxidant. They're very healthy for your body. So, that caught my eye. So I said, hey, I want to grow some blueberries. So what I did is, in those days, they had what was known as calendars, catalogs. Catalogs. So I ordered the catalogs, and the way I picked my blueberry was by the photos, the picture in the catalog. I was looking for the largest blueberries, and then in the description, I would look for sweetness, very sweet. And that's how I picked my blueberries, by the size in the picture of the catalog and the description, very sweet. So I ordered them, and I bought this. The tub is still there, the pot. Let me see if I can swing by there and show you too. And it's right here. Hopefully you can see it. It's that pot right there. That is my original blueberry pot. Okay, over there. That's my original blueberry pot. So I bought like 4 blueberries. It's about I think about $25 each. Uh, I don't remember how much the pot cost me. And then I bought, at those times, I wasn't really into gardening. You know, my mother and my dad they're into gardening, but it wasn't in this location. So that's where I kind of got the bug for, growing stuff. It wasn't really a full bug, but, just a little, you know, what do you would call it? An ant bite, termite bite, a little bug bite, okay? Small inclination about gardening. So I ordered my blueberries. I had the pot ready, and of course, when we used to plant anything, we bought topsoil from Home Depot. All right, that's how we planted everything, with topsoil. And we bought manure, fertilizer, same place, Home Depot. Okay. So when I received my blueberries, I put it in the pot. It probably took like 2 or 3 bags of topsoil, filled it up there, planted the blueberry spacing, in a plus sign, so they weren't bunch all together. And the first growing season, it grew. I water it every day. Remember, I'm going to work and I'm doing my daily job. I'm the business owner. I had to be there. Never had time for anything else. It was all work, 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 work. So I planted these blueberries. I watered them every day. And that's about it. That's all I did with blueberries. And blueberries grow in season, okay? So when I say, harvesting, I'm meaning the season. All right? So when the time I receive them, you get it, you order it early, like in January and February, and they don't ship it out until the end of March for the beginning of spring, which is April. So I received it, towards the end of March, maybe early April. Put them in there, planted them, and watered. And that's all I did. Just added water. Because that's what, we did with all the other plants. We just added water. And maybe we put, cow manure, fertilizer. And that was it. So, during the growing season, it's about 8 months from April to December. The plant grew, but then when it went towards the winter, and in California, we really don't have a winter snow in Southern California. So, they did whatever they did, and coming next season, well, they started to wilter, and then the tips started to dry up, and then, yeah, they die. I didn't know why. All right, so I lost, $100 in blueberries, plus the soil. Well, the pot's still there, and so I'm still working. So didn't pay too much attention to it, and then hey, They didn't survive. Didn't survive. I gave it water. I didn't know why. So I'm still working. Now it comes to 2016. That's when I retired from my manufacturing business at age 50. Now, the backstory on my career in education plays a big part here because I want you to know I had the engineering mind. The way you approach a product, a thing in engineering is called a widget. And you got to be able to think a certain way when engineering. Solution, problems, solve the problems. Okay, so I retired in 2016. Now, I got nothing to do. I'm bored. I'd already done a lot of stuff. I won't get too much into it. That's traveling. And so I'm bored. So what? I come out here to the garden here, the blue. Well, it wasn't called the blue garden. It wasn't called anything. I just come out here, and it wasn't like this. It was. The ground was all covered with grass. There wasn't a whole lot of plants here. There was just that avocado tree you see behind me, the lemon tree in the corner, and this pomelo grapefruit tree right behind me. That's all it was, basically. And I bought a mango tree and planted it out in the front. Um, that's bought that where else? Home Depot. And the mango tree, it just grew. It never gave any fruit. Um, Avocado tree here behind me was grown from seed, and for an avocado tree to give fruit, it takes a minimum of 10 years just to start giving fruit. That's the way it is with avocado from seed. If you're talking about, a graft or a rootstock, it's a different story. But I was retired, didn't have much to do, getting bored, so I see the green pot here, and I said, all right, the engineering mind goes to work. Why did those blueberries fail? Okay, so I go in there, approaching it like an engineer, cause and effect. Why did it fail? Figure it out. So, started reading about blueberries. Now, in those times, yeah, the internet was out. I didn't know about YouTube. And the way I got my information was same way I always got it, the library. I got a library card. You go down to the library, and I read books on blueberries, and I learned quite a lot. And let's compare to what I first did about blueberries and to what I learned. All right, here's what I learned. Blueberries require acidic soil. How did I originally plant it? I used topsoil only. Blueberries require a pH of 4.5 to 5. I don't even know what pH is. And a lot of you probably don't know what pH stands for. Proceed a hydrogen. All right. And then I learned about blueberries grow in certain planting zone. I didn't even know what a planting zone was. Blueberries come in different variety. I chose my blueberries by the size of the picture in the catalog and the description saying sweetness. Blueberries require chill hours. I didn't know what chill hours was. So can you see the picture here? Why my blueberries fail? Because all I did was get topsoil, put it in the pot, spaced out my 4 blueberries in a plus sign, and just gave them water. That's what I did. So can you see why the blueberries died? All right. So I learned all this. So now now I'm all eager. I got a lot of information, and I'm gonna do another set of blueberries. So now, sticking with engineering, inventing, I spent a lot of money, about $5,000, um, getting patent attorneys, learning about creating patents for my inventions and my product. Because I'm a manufacturer. So, with that knowledge of invention, what I learned from my patent attorney was write everything down that you do. In engineering, same thing. You write down everything that you do. Even scientific scientists, they write down whatever they do so they to understand what works and what doesn't work. So I'm gonna read you a couple of notes here to see blueberries, and this is dated August 2016. All right, and yeah, that's when I retired in 2016. All right, and you just see here uh, all my notes. Now I'll read you just a few passages through in here. You see, it's all covered. So this first page is critical. Friday, 2016, August. Bought all supplies for blueberry plants. Okay. Made a box bed 24 by 56 by 23 inches. Layout plan to fabricate blueberries next day. Got 6 blueberry plants in 1 gallon pots, about 2 inches tall. 4 O'Neill Southern High Bush, 2 Emerald Southern High Bush. Also got soil and peat moss. Soil tester for pH and moisture with pH gauge. Okay? You can see the big difference between my first time doing it and now this is my second time. Now, total cost for the wood, $83.53. Total cost for pH meter was $186.65. Total cost for blueberries, $233.98. And it was bought at Home Depot and Covina Garden Center for a total of $504.16. I'll show you right here. All right. So there you go. You see that? So growing blueberries are very expensive. It's not a cheap thing. So that's why I tell you guys out there, some of you guys go crazy. You buy a lot of plots, you know, more than 1 acre, and you start producing a blueberry farm, and you have no experience about blueberries. That's incredible crazy. And there's a lot of you guys on the internet that do that. You know, I did the exact same thing, but with 4 blueberries, $25 each. You know, and you can see here, you know, just in the blueberry cost is $233.98. All right. So I'll just read this other one here. Day 1, August 2016, Saturday. Put all soil in bed, starting with 2 bags of topsoil. See, 2 bags of topsoil by Earth Grow, 2 cubic feet. Then 4 bags of acidic planting mix, 8 cubic feet in total. Then 2 bags of peat moss, 4 cubic feet in total. All right, can you see the selection of the soil that I was using compared to the first time? All right, and then my planting order: plant number 1, O'Neill; plant number 2, Emerald; plant number 3, O'Neill; plant number 4, O'Neill; plant number 5, Emerald; plant number 6, O'Neill. Now, you can see here, O'Neill, Emerald. Those are the two varieties I got. Why? Because those work good for Southern California. The chill hours are very low, between 150 to 200 chill hours. Okay? It's hot here. So you need to get low chill hour if you live in a hot climate. Your planting zone is 10B. It doesn't matter if you're in Arizona where it's very hot. You got to get these low chill hours, okay? So there's my planning order, and then here, day 2, August 21, 2016, Sunday. Check pH reading. Now I get a 7, and wet. Checked using soil color was light green, reading 6.5. Added hydronium blue formula to bring down the pH. That's another one. These hydronium formula bags, you've seen it. They're very expensive, especially nowadays. Use about 1 pound needed to check every day before adding more, you see. So I would put some and then check the pH every single day. So I would understand by putting 1 pound of the acidifier in the soil, what is the cause effect? Did it bring down the pH? Did it do nothing? Before just adding blindly, you see? And then here, I got day 3, August 22, Monday. Check pH reading and getting a reading of 6 to 4. Remember, it was a 7, a reading of 7. So from 7, it went down to 6 and 4. So putting 1 pound of that acidifier did have an effect. And how long? Well, when I was getting a 7 reading, that was August 21. And when I checked it again on August 22, it went down from a 7 to a 6. In some areas, that was a mosquito. In some areas, a 4. All right. Sure, it would be nice to get a true reading, but for now, it's good. Moist is reading wet stations. Okay. So I'm talking about the pH gauge that I bought. It wasn't that good. All right. So I want you to see here. This keeps on going. Every single day, August 24. Every single day, 26, 28, 30. Then we get into September. And then day 25. Then we went into November. And then we went into December. And then we went to January 24. You know, recording everything. You just see. I recorded every single day. Wrote everything down. It's September 2018. Remember, we started at 16. All right. So, in all those times, you gotta want to read it because I'm gonna bore you. What did I learn? What happened? Oh, man, that's a mosquito. See, this is live. That was a big one too. I'll get to the mosquitoes too. All right. So what did I learn? What's going on? Well, let me see if I can grab right here. I'm going to have to sacrifice one. I'm looking for a leaf. All right, this leaf is bad, so I'm gonna take this one. All right, look, this is a blueberry leaf. And what was going on? The tips were burning up. The tips were burning up. Maybe you experienced this, or maybe, or not, yes or not. Man, I've been talking for 24 minutes. I hope there's somebody watching. All right, the tips were burning up. I didn't know why. So I had to figure out how to get the information I needed. Now, like I said, I never used YouTube to get, I don't even know about YouTube still for information. So what did I do? Go to the library. There was nothing about the tips being burned. So I did the next best thing. I started calling universities agricultures, okay? And I used the internet for that and found this lady at a university, and she said she didn't have any ideas, but she knew a professor who did, and she gave me his number, direct email. So I contacted him. This was Professor Stevens. I still remember his name. I still have all his emails. And I told him about my problem. I sent him a copy by email of all my research here and photos of the blueberries with, oh, look, I didn't know I took two. Of the tip being burned, you see? And he was very impressed with, the detailed notes that I had and the photograph, nice clean photographs showing the detail of the problem. He asked me if I was a student at the university, and I told him no, I was recommended by this person who recommended me to him. And so, you know, here's a side note. The professors, they love what they do. They love talking about what they do. And when you approach it in a professional, respectable way, asking for information, I wasn't a student, but I approached him professionally, with respect, and he gave me information for free. University information. And I wasn't even going to, the University of Michigan. So he told me that there was a disease going around blueberries. It's called LSD. And that stands for leaf scorch disease. And he tells me it was spreading among in the East Coast, mostly in Florida and Georgia. So, I live here, and he knows, I'm from Southern California, and I never heard about that, and I never seen any kind of research about LSD here. But he explained to me, and like I said, I saved all his emails, and that's what the cause and effect was for the burn tips. Now, I try researching using the universities here. We got two big ones, USC and UCLA. I'm pretty sure you guys are familiar with those universities. They don't have an agriculture department. Hey, uh, contact to the one up in Riverside. There's more agriculture over there. Cal Poly, Pomona. Uh, but they didn't respond. So I did some search, and I found another university that dealt with growing blueberries, and that was the University of Oregon. And then there's another mosquito right there. Look at that. Let me see if I can get him. No, he ran away. Anyway, I found another university that dealt with agriculture and blueberries. University of Arizona. So here's where I learned a whole lot more about this information. Now, what I learned is the tips being burned was due to the sun. The temperature was just too hot. And it's sort of, when the blueberry, let me see, just bent this a little bit here. The blueberry, the stem here and the leaf, they all work together in conjunction. Now, the leaves are meant to do photosynthesis with the sun rays to create glucose. And they send the glucose down the stem, down to the roots, okay? So the leaves are the photosynthesis, are the solar panels of the plant. when the tips dry up, it's because it's a lack of water going back to the tips of the leaf. So basically, they take the sun rays, create glucose through photosynthesis, send that down to the root system. And when you water the soil, the roots take up the moisture and send it back up to the leaves. Well, here where the problem occurs because the sun is too hot, beating down. The tip of the leaves do not get that water when the plant brings it up through the root system, through the stem, and administer it to the leaves. It doesn't reach the tips. Now, here's the theory behind that. When let's take Mount Everest. When you go climb up Mount Everest and you're wearing a whole bunch of weather gear, gloves, what's the first thing that turn gangrene or frostbitten? The tips of your fingers and the tips of your toes. They get frostbitten. And that's because the blood does not circulate to the tips. But the hand is still good. It's just the tips. That's why you see a lot of these people that do mountain climbing in very cold weather, like Mount Everest, and they get frostbitten. They amputate the fingertips and the toes, but the rest of the hand is still good, and the rest of the feet is still good. It's just the toes and tips. Same theory with the leaves. The moisture of the water in humans is the blood, doesn't reach the tips. So that's why you see the tips of the leaves on your blueberries dry up. Same thing with avocados leaves, but there's a few more about avocado. I made a video on that. Why do your avocado tips burn? 7 parts, 1 hour each. 7-hour video. Nobody watch. Nobody cares. See? So that's the story with that. I'm learning more and more. And then I get this, what do you call it? Broadcast on the flyer. It's sort of like the community newspaper. This company is hosting a free seminar about soil and worm castings, okay? So I go attend that, and I start learning about this product the guy's selling is worm castings and worm juice. I didn't know about this stuff. And here's where I start getting into microorganisms, okay? And it started with worm castings and worm juice. And from there, I got into more research about the worm castings that led me into microorganisms. And then there's where I got involved with 2 PhD doctors. And see, I wrote it down here in my notes. And let me see. Okay. I got involved with Dr. Mary Lucerno, and she's a system biologist. And I took her class and learned about microorganisms. And again, here is my other book, taking notes. And this is all about microorganisms. You can see here, all my notes and study, the course I took on microorganisms with Dr. Mary. And then finished her course, and then I got into the main one, and I've been doing a lot of research and doing a lot of study with her, and she's the ultimate in microorganisms. And some of you probably heard of her, some of you probably not. Dr. Elaine Ingram, and she's a microbiologist, okay? and she is the king of microorganisms. I learned so much with her and her course and everything. If I would like you to look up Dr. Elaine Ingram, do an internet search of her, and you'll see what she has to offer about microorganisms. All right, so I learned so much with her about microorganisms. And now, like I said, I do it here in the Blue Garden, a lot of study, a lot of experiments that you don't see on the internet. So let's talk about what I learned and know about blueberries. I learned about how to plant them in pots and in the ground. I learned about the soil. Not only about the soil, I learned about the microorganism required by the blueberry plant. Now, this is my main blueberry, and these I put in pots. Now, let me just go back here a little bit. Here, remember my blueberries? Well, towards the end, guess what? I started getting into the internet, okay? And I started listening to people who don't know any better, YouTubers, and this is what happens when you cheat. You take shortcuts. You listen to people that don't know anything to make your blueberries grow faster, bigger, get more yield, more blueberries. Use nitrogen. Nitrogen makes the plant grow bigger. What's happens to nitrogen when it breaks down? It becomes urethra. If you apply urethra and phosphorus and potassium, it will enhance the blueberry. Here's where we're talking urethra is like a steroid to the blueberry. Just like a weightlifter uses steroids to grow big muscle, the urethra is steroids, it's chemical to grow the blueberry bigger, faster, more berry. What happened? Well, it tells you here towards the end. Um, um, that I use right here, September 1920. Did use urethra nitrogen, 46 nitrogen. That's 46. And potassium and phosphorate, 50,000. 50 on the K, the posh. About a week ago on 9/8/18, did a check. Well, make a long story short, I burned the hell out of those blueberries. Remember, I paid $233 for those blueberries and 98 cents? By using the urethra of that high concentration and the posh and the potassium at that high concentration, I burned the roots. I burned the heck out of those blueberries. So I had to start all over. But like I say, in engineering, and it applies to the gardening, there is success in failure. I killed my blueberry. I failed. What did I learn? You can't take shortcuts. And I learned from other nice people, smart, do not grow with chemicals, man-made chemicals. Do not do that. Grow organically with the microorganisms. So that is where I used to use this something called miracle grow. guy told me, hey, don't use that stuff. Poison. It's man-made chemicals. So he showed me and he taught me and he directed me to go organically. That's why I got into the microorganism because microorganism is organically. That's why I got into Dr. Mary Lucerne and Dr. Elaine Ingram organically. Okay, because look, you shoot steroids, yeah, your muscles get big, but what else happens in the long run? You get cancer. You feed a lot of these man-made, laboratory chemicals to your plants. Guess what? You're gonna eat the fruit of that. Are you not eating those chemicals? Yes. That's where a lot of people get cancer. And they don't get it right away. It takes a lot of times to develop. So that's why I got off the path of using man-made chemicals and went into organic. And that's why I got into microorganisms. All right. So I learned about worm castings. Uh, at the time, it was worm juice, but worm juice is not really a such thing. It's called leche. The leche from the worm. Now, some people usually call it's the pee from the worm. Well, worms don't pee. Worms sweat. They leach off their body, the leche, and with the water and the worm casting, it leaches out to the bottom, and that's what that liquid is called leche. All right. A lot of you probably know here. Let me turn the camera here. See this tower? That is my worm tower. To not get worm casting, but to get worm leche. All right. So that's a different story there. So I got into microorganisms and the soil. So that's here. We're 42 minutes. I don't know who's watching this, but let me get down to the nitty gritty right here. A lot of you guys have seen this blueberry plant in all my videos. And now I have used this as my laboratory, my test subject. I do all my experiments on these blueberries, and I got two pots, and one, two, three, four, about four different varieties in there. Um, Sunshine Blue, Misty, and O'Neill's, and probably Emerald too. All right, so what I've been doing here, and I show you some pictures. Now I want to explain my style of video. When you see all my videos, I do not give you the answer to what I'm doing. It's because I want you to ask questions. This comes from my experience, 30 years of running my company, of training employees. And when you ask questions, this is how I learned. This is how I got so good at engineering. Because I asked questions. I asked questions from people that knew the answers, knew more than me. And I asked them questions. So I want you to see what I'm doing here in the Blue Garden, and I want you to ask me questions. Hey, what's going on? What's that? What's this? That? Ask me questions. And those few people that ask me questions, and I don't think I mentioned it. Let me give them a mention right now. All right. Uh, Here. It's very important. I should have done this in the beginning. I would like to give a big thank you from the Blue Garden Two, in no particular order, forever owned hyphen 568, Mike Kelp 2310, Arton is rising 289, and Rose Lavender 2222. All right, I'd like to say thank you. All right, because these are the people that leave comments. These are the people that hit that like button. Like I've been saying many times, if you don't hit that like button, YouTube does not promote my videos. That's why on this live streaming, I don't see anybody in there. I'm just talking to myself. But I got to back up, and I'm recording this, so I'll put this up there. And let's see if you are watching this live stream. Put it in the comments somewhere, here in the live feed or the video that I'm gonna release. Put it there and tell me, hey, I was there, because I don't see any notes there. I don't see anything. All right, so let's get back down here to the soil. I know a lot of you, because I had shown in my video, you see me put food scraps, fruit, in the pots, but you never asked me questions. So in this video, I'm gonna tell you why I do this. But before I tell you, you have to understand the process of plants. Okay? I don't have it. I wish I had plants. Of the roots. Okay? Roots. You can see all the roots there, the roots here. How do the roots of the plant work? They work with microorganisms, okay? They work together. It's like a pair of shoes. You need the right shoe and you need the left shoe. You can't just have one shoe unless you only have one leg. You have the yin and the yang. You can't have a yin without the yang. The two, you have good and you have evil, okay? You need the two to work together, okay? So, again, the root system. You see the roots down there? The roots. The way their roots work is they branch out into the soil and they reach out and they're looking for food. I made several videos explain the difference between fertilizing and food. Please watch my video about that. Okay, I'm not talking about fertilizer. The plants are not looking for fertilizer. Fertilizer is a manure. Chicken manure, cow manure, goat manure. Okay? The plants are looking for food. What are food? They're nutrients. And these are phosphorus, iron, potassium, calcium, all of these that you see the letter, you see on NPK, nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. All of these are the food elements that the blueberries are looking, not only blueberries, all plants are looking for. Now, when the root system finds these elements, they cannot absorb those elements the way they are in the soil. They have to be broken down. Now, who breaks down these elements? It's the microorganisms. The microorganisms break down these elements, the potassium, nitrate, the calcium, iron, all of these. They break it down. How do they break it down? Well, the microorganisms eat it, and what goes in one end comes out the other end, and you know what end I'm talking about? Your butt. All right? So the microorganisms eat these elements, and they poop out nutritional value. And the roots can now absorb those nutrients, okay? This is how the microorganisms and the roots of the plant work together, okay? Now, can the plants live without the microorganisms? If you're growing weeds, yes, and I'll explain more in detail about that. But the microorganisms are entities. I am a human. You are a human. You are, and I am an entity. We need oxygen to breathe. We need food to eat. We have microorganisms living inside our gut. We are full of bacteria. We are full of viruses. And these are all microorganisms, different kind of microorganisms. Plants, a living plant is a organism. It requires air, it requires food, it requires water, just like the human. Can we live without those things? No. What would happen? We would die. So, same thing with the plants. If the plant does not have oxygen in the soil, it would die. So, why do we use perlite in our soil mix? Because the perlites create voids, and those voids, the mosquito here, those voids create oxygen pockets. Those voids, when you water, create little puddles of water pockets. Those voids keep the soil moist, okay? Does not let them dry up. What happens if they dry up? The microorganisms die, okay? So, the plants, the more roots that they have, the more food they can take in. Now, they need to call more microorganisms, okay? They need to call more. So, how do they do that? Again, we're going back to the leaf. The leaf in the plant. The leaf, the sun, they take in the sun's ultraviolet rays, they convert that through photosynthesis, and they create glucose, sugar. The plant sends that sugar down the stem of the plant all the way to the root. And they send it to the root system, and they release that sugar, all right? Who doesn't like sugar? You like candy. You like sweet stuff. You're a human. You're an entity. Plants are living organisms. Microorganisms are living entities. We all love sugar. Microorganisms are no different. They love sugar. So when the roots release that glucose, that sugar, it's calling more organisms. And what happens when you have organisms? Well, hey, they're like rabbits. You get together and you know, they fornicate and they create more microorganisms. Okay? So, it's the supply and demand. More food can require more growth of population. Okay? But you gotta have these elements. You gotta have food, you gotta have oxygen, and you gotta have a moist environment. Okay? So I show you here in my video my walkways. When I walk on there, it's soft. I feel like I'm sinking in. If you have compact soil, it's compact. What's happening? You're squeezing all the air out of that soil. There's no oxygen in there. So what happens to the microorganisms? They can't breathe. So they die. And what happens? Well, you lose the yin and the yang. You lose one shoe and it doesn't function that way. Okay, here's the relationship of the microorganisms and the plants. The microorganisms, and there's like different kinds of microorganisms. You know, you have your protozoa, you have your fungi, you have your nematodes. You got two kinds of nematodes. You got your nematodes that are shredders, and you have nematodes that are predators. You have your octopods, and you have two kinds. You have the octopods that are shredders, and you have octopods that are predators. And you have the cilia, and a whole bunch of other these other microorganisms. Okay. So how does it work? And the main course, you have bacteria, okay? So you have all this in the soil, the bacteria. The bacteria grows, and the bacteria feeds the good nematodes, the shredders. The bacteria feed the arthropods. Okay, so they feed them, and they eat. And what goes in one end comes out the other end, and they defecate. And that defecation is what the root system can take in, and they get strong, and they get fruit, and they're very green, and they are healthy. Okay, what happens when the balance is off? You don't have oxygen. Now, in the scientific term, it's called aerobic. Aerobic is with oxygen, anaerobic is without oxygen. Okay, so when the soil is compact and tight and there's no air in there, there's no, you are in an anaerobic state. When you have an anaerobic state, the balance is not level, the balance is off. You got more bad bacteria. You got bacteria growing to the state where it's attacking the root system. The shredders are dying. The good nematodes and the arthropods, they're dying. In the city, I can't eat the bacteria. So the bacteria is overwhelming the soil, and the good microorganisms are dying. And what's taking over? The bad the bad microorganisms, and they're taking over everything. And what's there to eat? The roots, the roots of the plant, the bad predators. Okay, the nematodes. How do you tell the difference between a good nematode and a bad nematode? A shredder nematode and a predator nematode? By the mouth. And this is all under a microscope. You look at the teeth, the mouth. If it has teeth, that means it's a predator. It eats. If it has, like gummy mouth, no teeth, it eats the bacteria. It shreds it up and it eats it. Okay? So, the predator is not going to eat the bacteria because there's no nutritional value for the predator to eat it. Like, if you have teeth, it's for a reason. You're a meat eater. You eat. What is there to eat that has nutritional value? The roots. The roots had glucose. They're producing with the leaves sugar. The roots had taken in the nutrients from the few good microorganisms, and they're in the roots. So those predators are eating the roots. So what happened when all your roots are eaten, destroyed? What happens to the plant? Same thing to this. They die. Okay? So that's how microorganisms and plants work together. Okay, so let's go back to here, the pot here. Why do I put fruits that eventually rots? Why do I put eggshells? I don't even crunch it. I don't blend it into a powder and put it in there. Why? All right. And this is why. Because blueberries, blueberries, the root system. I'm just getting all these mosquitoes off of me. The blueberries root system is on the top. Okay. Now, that's true. But if you listen to Dr. Elaine Ingram and you learn about microorganisms and the roots, and by feeding the microbes, the roots expand and they get longer. And this is, I seen this and it blew me away because remember my blueberries when I fed them the man-made chemicals and killed them, burn them. I had to take those blueberries out. And something incredible that I saw that the roots, my bed over there is 23 inches. That's almost 2 feet, 24 inches. Okay, when I pulled that blueberry out there, that thing was about 3 feet, 36 inches long. The roots, 36 inches. I was incredibly shocked. I couldn't believe it that the roots were that long, 3 feet, 36 inches, in a 2 foot bed of soil. So why did the roots grow that long? Because the microorganisms, the soil condition, the pH, the the yin and the yang of the microorganisms and the roots working together. The roots put out more longer roots. And they didn't go out to the side when you hear a lot of these people say root systems uh, extend outward. There's a mosquito I'm looking at here. Got it. Look at that. No, you see it. Anyway, got it. Fell down. All right. So, the theory that Dr. Elaine Ingram explains about the roots growing in lengthwise is true. I've seen it in my own. I just burned my roots, my tree, by, and what the part that I burned was the top part that killed the tree, the plant, the blueberries. But the roots were so 3 feet long. It was incredible. Okay, so let's go back over here. Blueberries root, in theory, grow in the top surface. You all know that. You heard about that, and it's true. Okay. So this is why I put the fruits on the top of the soil. I don't bury it. And what happens here? Okay, bugs fly and they get on the rotten fruit. And you've seen that, you know that. If you got overripe bananas inside your house and they're sitting there and they're turning brown, dark brown, you know the little flies somehow appear inside your house. Where did they come from? Well, they come from the potassium of the banana and they're hatched and they're made, okay? They're born inside your house. So what do you do when you get your bananas all over ripened? Well, you fall in two classes. Either you throw away in the trash or you put in your compost. Okay? I don't wait until the fruit is rotten. I take perfectly good vegetables and fruits and I put it on the top surface. Why? The bugs come and they attack it and they eat it. And now this does two things. One, they leave my leaves alone. They don't eat my leaves. They don't eat my fruit of the blueberries because they got food down there. They eat the look at right here. There's a orange and eggshells. There's some broccoli stand. Look at my video. I show you this in my videos, okay? Look at the videos, okay? So now, what's going on? Bugs are getting in there. They're eating it. And what? When you eat, you poop. They're pooping on top of it. They're laying their eggs on it. So you're getting maggots. And you're creating microorganisms. Just like the bananas inside your house, they're in your house. You don't eat them. They turn brown. They turn dark brown, black. And you see all these little flies flying around. Why? How? Okay? Same principle here. They get it and they eat it. So let's take a look. With the orange right there, it got a whole bunch of... It wasn't like that. It was a nice orange from my orange tree and put it there. And it rotted. And what happened? You get this green and white fuzz on it. What is that? It's fungi. You see me talk about this in my other video when I'm setting up my compost for food. I show you what I'm doing over there and it's creating fungi. Okay, in blueberries require a acidic pH. That means a low number on the pH scale. Fungi brings down the pH. Fungi, so fungus, brings down the pH in the soil. Okay? So this is why you see I maintain fungi only on my blueberries, because avocados require a pH of 6. Lemons require a pH of 6. Nectarines and all that, they require a much alkaline pH. Only blueberries require a pH that is acidic. Okay? So that's why you see only fungi, fungus on my blueberries only. And this is because the fungi brings down the pH in the soil. You guys didn't know that. I know you didn't know that. So, the bugs eat the fungi, the fungus, and like I say many times, it goes in one end and it comes out the other end, okay? What does that do to the soil, the plant? Well, when you water it, that feces falls down to the soil. And where does it fall down? When you water things, it does not go all the way down to the bottom of the plant, because you're not supposed to water that much. That fungi, that feces, goes down to about, a couple layers of the soil. What's there? The blueberry root zone. The blueberry root zone, the root crest is what it's called. So what's going on? The blueberries gain a nutritional value on the about 1 inch layer where the root crest, the root zone is located on blueberry. Is that good or bad? That's very good. Because I got two prongs. One, I got the microorganisms way down deep, and they're going deeper, following the water, following the crevices, the voids caused by the perlite and the water pockets in there, making the roots grow longer. I got microorganisms way down there. And now, what I'm doing up here, this is an orange creating fungi. I got eggshells. Now, the eggshells are not crushed into a powder and put under. What happens if you do that? Well, they'll get washed away. they get diluted with the water, and they'll go out in runoff. I have the whole eggshell halves. I just throw them in there. What happened? The bugs nibble, 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 eat it. Worms nibble, nibble, nibble on the eggshells. And like I said many times, what goes in one end comes out the other end. Okay? And when you water normal, that feces. Oh, so now what we got? We got fungi from the oranges. We got calcium from the eggshell. And the broccoli, same process. Bugs eat it, defecate, and that nutrient goes down about 1 inch to the root crest, the root zone. That's why you see fruit rotting on the top layer, and it's not covered. Look, you've seen this many times in my videos. Go back and look at all my videos. You'll see it. I do not cover them with peat moss. I do not cover them with wood chips. And you see it here. Why? This is my ongoing scientific laboratory, and I'm constantly learning by doing something, cause and effect. I cause something, and I want to see the effect. Now, why, if this, I've been doing this for, it's going on 3 years now. Why do I only do this to these 3 potted blueberries? And when, I have, let's see if I can lift it. Nah, it's too heavy. Uh, my pink lemonade down here. The pink lemonade, my O'Neill over there, and my emerald over there, and then in the bed over there, I got my um, emerald, jubilee, and jewel. You've seen them all in my blueberry, my film, my videos, and but you don't see rotten fruit there. For 2 reasons. One is those are my controls. What is a control? It's like if you do medical research on a pharmaceutical drug, they take 2 groups. One, they're giving the drug, and the second group, they're giving what's called a placebo sugar pill. They don't tell the groups which is which and which one you're taking. And what are they doing? Cause and effect. They're giving you a drug and they want to see the cause. What effect does that have? Same thing here. Those other ones do not have the rotten fruit on top of the soil. Are they different than this? Does this produce more berries than the other ones? Those are my controls. Now, I do different experiments with the other ones. And you got to understand, experiments take a long time. That's why I don't film them, and that's why I don't talk about it. Why I'm talking about it now? Because this is the only way to get you guys interested to watch my videos, okay? I'm retired. I'm an old man. I'm broken. And not working. I got no income coming in. So I wanted to make this YouTube my business, my job. I want YouTube to pay me money just like those other YouTubers. All right? So I had to create videos that are interesting, knowledgeable to you so you can learn. But like I said in all my past videos, I always say in my video, ask me questions and I would tell you the answer. All right? So what has led to all this experimenting? I started out planting blueberries, not knowing what to do. I learned what to do and how to do it. I taking shortcuts on information that YouTubers had put out there. I learned by failing. There is success in failing. I learned about not to grow with man-made chemicals made in a laboratory. I learned through worm castings and worm juice and Dr. Lucerne, Mary Lucerne, and Dr. Elaine Ingram about microorganisms and growing organically, healthy. And what has that led to? It has led to me to making videos how to grow blueberries in pots. And I made videos. It's out there. It's a #1 video. It's getting about 2,000 views, but still very poor on you guys not hitting that like button. Why? By hitting the like button, YouTube promotes the video to other people. Because you guys do not hit, you're allergic to. I don't know. It doesn't cost you any money to hit that like button, and you don't do it. This is why it makes me, I'll be honest, it makes me very angry that I give you free information and the least you could do is hit that like button so YouTube can promote it, so I could get more viewing hours and I could get paid by YouTube. But no, you guys don't do that. I don't know why. All right, so like I said, I learned how to plant, grow blueberries in soil, the correct soil. I made videos on that. And then I wrote a book, How to Cultivate Blueberries and Plant Them in Pots. Okay? I wrote books. I put information here that I did not put in the videos. Why? Because this book, by you buying it, I get money from Amazon. And it helps support me in making these videos. Look, I got a brand new camera. And microphone and audio. That all costs money. That money's out of my pocket. You know, that money should come from YouTube by these videos, but it's not because you don't hit that like button. All right, so at least buy my book. It's on Amazon. There's the name, there's the title. All right, and a few of you don't know why it's called J.C. Flores. All right, it's J Cultivating, and I wanted flowers, cultivating flowers, but flowers are already taken. So flower in Spanish is flores. So J is cultivating flowers. In Spanish is flowers, flores. All right, so that's why the name Cultivating Blueberries in Pot. All right, so there's more information here that's not in the videos about planting blueberries. Okay, so please, help an old man who's broken. You know I have a bad hip. You know I got bad knees. I got bad back. And you know what I got to say. It's hard work being a gardener. All right? So, help me. Buy my books from Amazon. All right? I even got another book on there. If you just type in the search bar on Amazon, books by J.C. Flores, in the search bar, books by J.C. Flores, you'll see all the other books that I have for sale. You know, help me out. Okay? So, I think I'm going to wrap it up here. Like I said, I took down a lot of notes, but I didn't really go into them. I did acknowledge 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 subscribers that are very good. They subscribe. They hit the like button on all my videos. And I tell you how I learned all of this by, you know, I'll put it there. You can see it. And then over here is where I learned from these professional biologists and the doctors. Like I said, in a lot of my other videos, I learned from people with PhD after the name. I don't learn everything here. Everything I know, I do not learn from YouTubers. No. And I think you have to figure out why. I did a video. Do a search on how you plant blueberries. 50% peat moss and 50% wood chips. that's so bad. I made a video explaining that. I show you the bag of the nutrients in the peat moss and wood chip. Peat moss and wood chip is a top dressing. It's for maintaining moisture only. Period. Exclamation point. That's all it's for. Maintaining moisture. Okay? That's all it is. All right. So I'm going to wrap it up here. I did this live. It looks like, what, 81 minutes. I don't see anybody that log in to the live viewing. So here I have you. I'm going to put it unedited up. And I hope you understand. Hey, Jay from the Blue Garden. Here's my book. There's more information here than on my videos. Please help an old man out, because you know what I got to say. It's hard work being a gardener. Goodbye from the Blue Garden.